Teufelsberg was not built to observe the city. It was built to listen to something that no longer exists. Inside these domes, antennas intercepted military and civilian transmissions moving across the Eastern Bloc. Construction of the listening station began in the early 1960s on an artificial hill in West Berlin. The location was chosen not for geography but for isolation. What was being built was not a base in the conventional sense. It was a monitoring system designed to intercept signals from the Eastern Bloc. Its purpose was singular: to listen, to collect, to filter communication across a divided world. Teufelsberg still stands today. The structures remain, the domes are intact, but the system it was built for no longer has a target. Teufelsberg emerged from a specific geopolitical condition: a divided Germany, a divided Europe. West Berlin was surrounded by territory controlled by the Soviet Union and its allies. The city functioned as an isolated Western outpost inside a hostile information environment. Intelligence was not optional, it was foundational. The listening station was part of a broader network operated by the United States and its partners. Its role was to intercept radio transmissions, military signals, and communication traffic from across Eastern Europe. This was not surveillance of individuals, it was surveillance of systems. Teufelsberg was designed to observe patterns, not people. Signal volume, frequency shifts, structural changes in communication infrastructure. The goal was not to respond to individual events, but to maintain situational awareness across an entire ideological territory. The system was built on a clear assumption: the Cold War would persist, not as a temporary crisis, but as a long-term global condition. Teufelsberg was constructed as permanent infrastructure, not a provisional outpost, not a mobile installation. Concrete foundations, steel frames, protective domes. The station assumed continuity, a stable adversary, a stable threat model. Its architecture reflected this logic. The domes were designed to shield sensitive equipment from weather and electromagnetic interference. The buildings housed long-term personnel. The site was planned for decades of uninterrupted operation. This was not a system optimized for flexibility. It was optimized for a world that was expected to remain divided indefinitely. At its peak, Teufelsberg functioned as a key node in a global intelligence network. Signals intercepted at the site were processed, categorized, and relayed to other facilities. Information moved across continents through secure channels. The station did not produce decisions, it produced context. Its output was not action, but awareness. This made the system structurally dependent on its environment. Teufelsberg only had meaning as long as there was an opposing system to monitor. Its entire logic depended on the existence of an external adversary. Without the Eastern Bloc, the station had no referent. This meant that the station's relevance was never internal. It did not justify itself through output or results in isolation. Its value existed entirely in relation to what it was monitoring. Without an opposing system, there was nothing to calibrate against, no baseline, no anomaly. The station could not produce meaning on its own. It required an external structure to remain legible. Teufelsberg was not built to exist independently. It was built to exist in opposition. The collapse of the Berlin Wall in 1989 altered the system instantly. The division that had justified Teufelsberg's existence dissolved in a matter of months. The geopolitical structure it was built to observe disappeared. There was no gradual transition, no adaptation phase. The Cold War did not slowly fade. It ended. The listening station lost its enemy overnight. Its equipment was no longer necessary. Its data no longer relevant. The system was not repurposed. It was simply abandoned. What had been critical infrastructure became surplus architecture. Today, Teufelsberg remains physically intact. The buildings still stand. The domes still define the skyline of the artificial hill. But the site no longer performs any technical function. It is not upgraded. It is not maintained as infrastructure. Visitors walk through the same structures that once housed classified equipment. The spaces designed for signal analysis now contain nothing. The system still exists materially, but not operationally. Teufelsberg has become a physical remainder of a world that no longer exists. Systems like Teufelsberg cannot easily be adapted. Their design is too specific, their purpose too tightly coupled to a particular historical condition. The station was not built for generic intelligence work. It was built for a precise geopolitical configuration. Once that configuration disappeared, the system had no internal flexibility. There was no alternative function embedded in the design, no modularity, no fallback role. The infrastructure was not wrong. The world around it changed. Teufelsberg did not fail. It became irrelevant. Teufelsberg now exists in a state of structural asymmetry. Its physical presence remains unchanged, but its referent is gone. The station was built to listen to a system that no longer exists. It continues to occupy space, but no longer has anything to listen to. This creates a form of institutional afterlife. The infrastructure persists, the logic does not. Teufelsberg has outlived the world that required it. Teufelsberg was designed to operate inside a permanent global conflict. It assumed a future defined by ideological opposition. That future never arrived. What remains is not a ruin, but a system without a counterpart, a listening station without an enemy, a monitoring structure without a world to monitor. Not broken, not destroyed, just disconnected from the condition that once gave it meaning.